Well, thank you both so much for being here. I really appreciate you taking the time. Nice to meet you both.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you. Love the ears, love the swag.
Yes, looks amazing.
Yeah, just had to have a fun little background, because this movie is so fun and colorful, right? And that was something that I had wanted to ask you about, Heather, with in terms of the choreography, because these characters are so fun and they're so vibrant and they have such interesting personalities. How do you draw inspiration from those fun visuals into the choreography?
Oh, great question. I think because I was previously an actor, so for me it's about embodying what these characters are the best I can, and especially getting to go into it again for Monster High 2. I mean, I could see and feel more of what our actors were bringing to those roles. So I literally like kind of act out and picture and imagine, what those scenarios would be. On top of, I pull from a whole bunch of different references where I'm like, all right, I want to see this kind of, let's say, a group number, like what's the energy, but also what's the story we're telling. And of course I'm pitching that to our director to make sure that we vibe and we're on the same page. But yeah, it's character driven, and I love just going into each character and navigating how they relate from the script.
Absolutely. And Mia, so on your end, I know that you are a really creative person and you love everything to do with the arts. And so I'm guessing that this must be such a rewarding role for you because you get to sing and act and dance and the whole thing. What has that been like for you, getting to use multiple talents at the same time and get to enjoy all of those things in one role?
Yeah, I mean, that really has been such a great gift. When I moved out to LA 3 years ago, I really set my focus on acting. I was like, you know what? I love all of the aspects of this, but like I'm really going to go in on the acting. And so my first job out here, being that I get to sing and dance as well, was really unexpected and such a treat because I don't know, they all just fuel different parts of me. And so to get to merge it together is like, it's amazing. Can't ask for more than that.
Mhm. And was dancing something that you specifically had a background and passion in, or was it something that you came to through acting?
So I grew up dancing a little bit, but I mean, I will be the first to say that I am so clumsy. And so I was just like never really a sports person. And dance is a sport, trust.
Yes,
And
yes.
so I was definitely, that was the part that was the most intimidating for me. But to get to work with Heather and Randa and all the incredible dancers, they just created such a safe space to explore and really, become more confident in what I was capable of. And so that was a really great growing opportunity for me.
Wow, that is so cool. And, Heather, I was wondering in terms of this choreography, how, when you're getting such a large group of people together and you're coordinating them all at once, what is that process like? I mean, I can't imagine how many hours of rehearsal that must be. And what is the secret to getting everybody to be able to coordinate, all of these, beautiful movements and so many of them in the movie? Like, what is that process like, collaborating with the actors and bringing those scenes to life?
Well, first of all, I basically I design like a schedule that I think like, okay, this is the amount of time we're allotted for rehearsals. And our process was really, really short. We did 2 weeks for 5 numbers. And so I pitch that. And once it gets okayed, then I have my wonderful assistant, Randa, and a second assistant, Milena, and they basically help me. So I create everything, show it to the director and the producer in what like we call previs with skeleton crew dancers, like people that stand in.
Mhm.
I don't have a whole bunch of people, but I have just enough to show the idea. And then from there, that really cuts down on rehearsal time because once they, the producers and Todd, the director, say, okay, yeah, this is what we want to do, or give little adjustments, then we go in and with that, schedule, get everybody to learn everything as quickly as possible in a safe way as well. So if we can offer conditioning a little bit, because let's be real, like dance is, even though it looks great and effortless, it actually, it requires a lot of
Oh, yeah.
awareness, a lot on the body. So, we were just making sure every day, especially with the platform shoes, that they were warming up
Yeah.
and strengthening their ankles and their abs. And we were doing ab workouts and stuff like that just to make sure they're okay. And then from there, like, the cast was so game, especially after we went through the Monster High 1
Mhm.
process. They were like, okay, we know. And they were just so open, and we could really, accomplish a lot in a short amount of time. So yeah, it's about designing a schedule along. This is the other thing that some people don't maybe realize is like, Miia, like everyone is doing, they're doing so many things. Like they're going maybe some singing, they're doing costumes, they're doing like, there's so many things on top of trying to rehearse.
Mhm.
So and obviously connect with their characters, and like it's just makeup and everything, right? So they call it boot camp for a reason. Yeah, they killed it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and what is that like for you, man, when you're filming? Like, what is a typical day like? Because I imagine you've got to start with maybe rehearsal, and then you get into makeup, and then, you've
Yeah.
got to going over the script. I mean, that's a jam-packed day. What does that typically look like when you're filming?
Yeah, so a filming day usually looks like getting picked up anywhere between 3:30 a.m. and 7 a.m. It depends on the
Yeah.
day. We go to set and then we eat some breakfast, of course, got to fuel. Sometimes they'll make last minute changes to the script. And so you learn about that when you walk into your trailer and you see a new piece of paper on your table. You go, okay, so I will now memorize this. And then I would go to hair to get my wig cap on.
Mhm.
I would go to makeup to get my contacts in, and then they would do like my face makeup. I would go back to hair to get my wig and my ears on, and then I would go back to makeup to get my hand freckles and my claws put on, and then we put on our costumes, and then we go to set, and then it's time to film. And then we do usually some rehearsals for the camera, and some of us would rehearse, before it's time to go to set if there's any scenes we want to work on more. So, but it is go, go, go for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure.
Yeah.
Well, and it pays off because Heather, you won an Emmy for the first Monster High, which is so exciting. And I imagine it must have been so cool for you to coming into Monster High too, knowing how well received and appreciated the first one was. So was that really cool to be able to reunite with the cast and, build off of what you started in the first movie?
Yeah, thank you. It was actually, I didn't know the awards actually hadn't happened yet when we started and shot Monster High 2. So I didn't know, but it didn't matter because I just was so proud of what we were able to accomplish in the first one when there was
Mhm.
just so many unknowns. And I think
Yeah.
that's the other thing. It's such a great question what you're talking about with in regards to doing a musical in production is a whole different beast than it is without dance. And so that whole everybody understanding that all the departments dealing with it's a lot, it's a huge load, right? Because there's one more department that I'm like, hey, so costume, they can't lift their arm, like there's a lot of things to navigate in a short amount of time, set design, like all that stuff. So but yeah, it was, I mean, they're just amazing people, so I just love being in the space. It is always a challenge no matter what to try and create something incredible for camera in that short amount of time. But yeah, I felt like we could like do anything, with what the script was offering and have even more fun while working hard.
Well, that is just
I don't
so
know, can you see it? Can you
yes,
see
I
it right
can.
there?
It looks
Yeah.
great. I love it. Well, thank you both so much for taking the time today. And, who knows? Maybe we'll see you back for Monster High 3. Never know, maybe.
Well, thank you
Oh,
for your time. It
oh,
was nice
thank you
to
Yeah,
meet
both.
thank
you.
you.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to meet you both. Thank you so much.